And we are back, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a white background for your product photography. So we've got a simple product here, a can and a white background. If you don't know how to create a white background for itself, simply create a new layer, then use the paint bucket tool and make sure you paint on that layer. I'll make that invisible except for the layer paint on so that you can see what's happening here, and I'll rename that white background. So this is how you can do that, and now we need to cut out the can. For some products you can use the quick selection tool, but you have to be lucky. So even this can, which has clear edges, the quick selection tool doesn't work that well, so it depends a little bit on the background, the color of the product, and you can see that here. So we need to use the pen tool. It's not that complex, but it takes a lot of time. Just go to a couple of edges. We'll start with the curvature at the bottom. So left click, then I left click, hold and drag to create this curve. Always work in segments, so don't go over the can with only one sitting. Make sure it's a path, then click on selection. We don't want to have a feather, so make that 0. Click on OK, and we need to inverse it so that we actually have this area selected and not the outside of it. And now you use the brush tool, make sure it's white, and then paint over it. So I've created a new layer for that, and I would suggest that you do too. It's always better to work on different layers, and you can also see that I'm using a copy. I've created that pressing Ctrl J of the original layer. I like to do that to have the original in the background. Now you press P for the pen tool again, and you start with a different area. So once again, simple left click creates an anchor point, and if you left click, hold and drag, you can create curves. And then make sure to close these areas, feather radius 0. Go to select, inverse it, press B for the brush tool, make sure it's white, and paint on it. So and you can see that gives us a great edge, and this is exactly what we want for this can. The rest is just the same procedure. If you haven't hit the right point, just press Ctrl Z to go back one step, create a new anchor point. Whenever you have multiple curves, it's best to do that in different segments, like I did here with the right hand side of the can. And again, make the selection a 0 for the feather, inverse the selection, press B for the brush tool, make it white. So I'm going to speed up this video a little bit, as the rest is just the same over and over again. Alright, we've got a small area right here at the top of the can, so I once more use the pen tool, P for that. When you've got that done, so you've got all of the edges white, we are only one step away. We once more need the pen tool, and now you click only in this white area. Make sure that you don't hit the can by accident. if you do Ctrl Z to go back one step. So I've created an outline within the white that covers the entire can. Now I make a selection, 0 feather, and this time I don't inverse it, and I simply use the paint bucket tool and I click on it. I've got a little bit of an outline here that doesn't look good. I can just go over it with the brush. Always make sure that it's the white color in the forefront, and that way you can paint over it easily. When you've got that done, press Ctrl D and you deselect what you've selected prior with the pen tool. This was the original and this is the cutout. That looks nice. We can hold Shift and select the white layer and the copy of the can, and then press Ctrl E to merge these layers, and now we can move that around easily on our white background. Let me show the original, left hand side, and you can see what we could create here. And this is how you can do it for almost every product. As I've said, sometimes the quick selection tool works, or when you've got something that doesn't work initially, just use the pen tool like I did here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.